Lads, let me tell you now, this British Grand Prix is going to be awesome, I'd say. The tension's gone nuclear now. I mean, talk about an Austrian Grand Prix that just dramatically, Max Verstappen has finally succumbed. He has admitted defeat. He's turned to the dark side. He has gone to Lord Vader and the Emperor. That's it. It's over. He is forever a Dark Lord of the Sith, guys. I mean, it's ridiculous what he did. I was a Verstappen fan even before Austria 1 week ago, not even 1 week ago. And now I can't stand the guy. It's unbelievable what can happen. And it was sick what he was doing, and even worse, guys. Christian Horner is now coming on patronising McLaren and Lando Norris. It's unbelievable. We got a lot to get through.
Walsh running the Irish green, and look at the move he's making down to the inside.
Moves to the front from fifth all the way to the lead in lap one.
Walsh takes win number 2.
Peter. Walsh. Oh, guys and girls, what is going on? It is the British Grand Prix. Well, as we all know, it's Austrian Grand Prix last week. Wow. Just wow, man. It was unbelievable. And I mean, the backlash, the bitching, oh my God, people are losing their minds this week on the internet. Social media is exploded. It's definitely reignited people's passion to watch Formula One again. It's unbelievable what's going on. And yeah, we're going to get into it. Like, before we get into the news, guys, we're going to break down the news, the current events and what's going on, and we're going to check out the British Grand Prix Silverstone track and the track itself. Where can the teams win, get pole position, or what's the key around it? We're going to go through all that. But before we do, firstly, number one, I thought we were moving on to this, but we haven't obviously yet, and I'm still kind of talking about it. But this whole Christian Horner and Max Verstappen thing, guys, it is insane. Christian Horner now, only 2 days ago, he has an interview with Sky Sports. And he's at his factory, he's talking about the race coming up, and he's talking about what happened last week, and he actually says these words.
Tough race. If you race Max Verstappen, and there's an element, I think, of Lando learning how to race Max.
I'll tell you now, guys, if you've never raced before, and you're a new fan of Formula One, this is not the case. This is an incredibly patronising comment from Christian Horner, because everybody knows in the motor racing world, everybody, okay, that you learn your racecraft in karting. And Lando Norris used to drive karts. This is a fact, ladies and gentlemen. You don't learn racecraft coming from karts and learning it in motor racing. 100% no, you don't. It's like karting is an incredible backbone for racing drivers. And again, it's the racecraft, as in, okay, how to pass on the outside, get up on the inside, get aggressive, overtaking this, that, right? And battles, and getting used to that pressure in battles with people. That's what karting is brilliant for. And everybody in Formula One knows this too. Because when you make the transition from karts into cars, like I have and thousands of other drivers, I know this as well. A kart versus a car, the driving method and the driving feel is just comparing the Earth to the moon. Now, you know the racing line, you know how to drive in combat maneuvers, let's call it. But the driving feel is so different, guys. It's alien when you first jump into a car. It's unreal. So that's the only thing that you progress once you transition from karts into cars. Because you've done a lot of your backbone and training in karts already. So believe me, guys, and please, for the love of God, be a Red Bull fan, be a Max Verstappen, Sergio Perez fan. That's cool. I totally respect it. But don't listen to Christian Horner when he says that Lando Norris has to learn how to drive against Max. Lando Norris learned how to race his racecraft in karting. That's number one. Number two, what? Max Verstappen is so above everybody else that it's a new thing for him now, and he's got to learn how to drive against Max because he's such a genius. Get the fuck out of here. That is the biggest load of bollocks, guys. I think what he's doing here really is that he's trying to just wind McLaren up, I think. You know? And even before we move on to the next point, guys, imagine it, right? The racecraft you learn in karting, it's kind of like if you were in karate or taekwondo or excuse me, or a martial art that you learn things, right, from the day one. It's kind of like how to clench your fist, how to throw a punch, how to actually use your fist. That's what you'd be learning at white belt level. So like in a way, karting would be the white belt level. That's where you learn the basics, the basic punch, the basic passing on the outside and the inside. Maybe that's a weird comparison, but I'm sure you know where I'm getting at with this one. And that's where you learn how to twist a punch. Do you twist with your hand or with your fist? Do you put all your body and your shoulder into the punch? This is what you learn in martial arts. I used to do taekwondo, so I have an idea of it, right? But still. And then only until you know how to use your fist as a punch or throw a kick at white belt level, then you can possibly progress to the next level, right? So like Christian Horner saying that, oh, well, he's going to learn now. That's like saying, oh, so you learn your punch, but now when Lando Norris is at black belt level, let's say, which is Formula 1, let's say, now he's got to learn a different style of punch? Total crap, guys. Total crap. Lando Norris would have been learning racecraft moves, passing people on the inside, outside. He would have done it thousands of times in his karting career, and that would be been his base of racecraft. Okay, let's move on. So we're enough of that now, guys, and let's get on to some news here and get into the British Grand Prix. So, news! We've got Mr. Bearman, Ollie Bearman, promoted to Formula 1 with Haas for 2025. Well, in fairness to him, guys, I was quite impressed with him. I don't know how you feel about this, but I think he really did a good job when Carlos Sainz was out. He replaced Carlos Sainz in Ferrari and he finished 7th on his opening debut. He seems like a very smooth driver, consistent, stable, as in, when I say stable, as in he's not gonna, it seems, we could be wrong, it seems he doesn't get rattled when somebody's behind him, putting pressure on him. He'll just keep the head, keep the cool, stay in his position. So, you know what? Congratulations to Bearman. Well done, sir. And guys, if you don't know who he is, he's Ollie Bearman. He is in the F2, Formula 2 now. So he's competing in that. But hey, he's done an awesome deal here. He's only 19 years of age. So that's great for him. And yeah, good luck to him. And hopefully he has the rest of a good season. Question is, will he be bringing money? Probably, guys. And again, this is where the politics comes into the racing side of things. That people have asked me about this already, like, oh, do you think he's paying his way in now, your man? So that's why I'm bringing it up here on the podcast. People are wondering. Well, I think he probably is, guys. And look, I've said this millions of times already. If I was still racing back in my day and if my dad or a sponsor had the money to get you into Formula 1, pay your way in, you're going to do it. You're going to do it. I don't care who you are. If that's your way to get in there, get in the door, well, then you got to do it. Mick Schumacher, Michael Schumacher's kid, had to pay his way into Haas. And Ollie Bearman's going to Haas. Mick Schumacher had to do it. Nikita Mazepin had to pay his way in to drive for Haas. Michael Schumacher, the legend, he had to pay his way into Formula 1. He paid his way in to get into the Jordan seat. So this happens, guys. It's just part of the package. And sometimes it can work for drivers where you have to pay your way in. Then you can impress other teams and then eventually get paid yourself, like Michael Schumacher did. I mean, Michael Schumacher was, I think, the highest paid sportsman in the world at one stage on 20 million a year. I could be wrong on that, so give me a little bit of rope on that one. But he was definitely the highest paid Formula 1 driver in the world for a long, long time. So, but anyway, guys, we don't know all the ins and outs. He could be bringing an investor to the table as well. We don't know. Maybe it'll be revealed in due time. But you know what? Either way, it takes nothing away from Ali Behrman. I think he's a really good driver, and well done to him. Now, they're also on a little bit more news in relation to Behrman here. They're on about who's going to take the other seat. Now, Hülkenberg is off to new pastures, as they call it here, and a long-term deal he signed with Sauber and Audi. Now, then you've got Kevin Magnussen. Now, they're wondering, will Valtteri Bottas get the seat? Will Kevin Magnussen? I honestly think this is going to be Magnussen's seat. They've had him for, I think, is it 7 years now at Haas? Why change now? You know? I'm sorry, not 7 years in a row, guys. He's been with them for 7 years. Excuse me. So, I think unless they really, really need the money, they might get someone else on board, unless Kevin Magnussen is bringing in some sponsorship money or investors, or he's bringing his own money to the table. Hard to know, but I think Kevin Magnussen, either way, it doesn't matter. He's a great driver, very old school type of driver. I think he's got a plenty of experience. I wouldn't be surprised to see him now in the seat at Haas next year. And if anybody deserves it, it's definitely him. He's a great guy. Next bit of news. The second Red Bull team, they're saying that, okay, well, Yuki has signed up for next year. Now, they're saying here in a headline, Red Bull not in a hurry to confirm 2025 lineup, as Baer says team lucky to have junior options. Well, they're always lucky. It kind of doesn't make sense what he's saying here. They're always lucky because they know that all the the junior levels like Formula 2, 3, and etc., all of the drivers want to be in Formula 1. So they've always had plenty of options. Now, does it leave Ricciardo out of a seat? I think it does. Because it's either Red Bull 2, they keep him on board here, or he's gone, and that's it. Gone. Done. There's no other options. I don't see any other team taking on Daniel Ricciardo. He's under the Red Bull the wing. Of course, we'll see in more meantime, but Yuki is there, very simply put, because he's bringing investors to the team, and Honda engines. And that's the only reason. Otherwise, they would have booted that guy out. I mean, if you saw the Netflix program, guys, you see at one stage Yuki's personal trainer comes over to him trying to get him to do some exercise, and and Yuki's just like, oh, like whatever. I mean, can you imagine that? Unbelievable. Like, Yuki Tsunoda isn't one of these guys that he's working at some shitty job being an electrician. Sorry, I'm not saying electrician is being a shitty job, but let's say somebody thinks that a shitty job is like being an electrician or a plumber or being an IT developer. In other words, they've no interest in the job, and they think it's shitty, so therefore they just kind of mope around the place. You'd get rid of that guy in fucking 2 seconds. And now this situation is worse, because these guys, Formula 1 drivers, should be hungry. They love what they do, so therefore they should be wanting and needing to be there, getting that extra advantage. And Yuki Tsunoda bitches and moans around the place. It's nuts, man. It's nuts. If it wasn't for that engine deal, that guy would have been fired, I'd say, long time ago. Okay, guys, next. The Silverstone track. Well, here is the really interesting, fascinating thing I find now with this track this weekend. Now, this is the last piece of the puzzle for McLaren. Before we get into the track details here, guys, this is it. I've been saying this for months. Every team need to have a well-balanced car. Not all of them do. But McLaren seem to be in a position now where they've got a real good car under them, and if they can figure out Silverstone and be quick, this ticks all 3 boxes. And we've seen a well-balanced car, guys, breaks down to being fast on slow tracks like Monaco, being fast on medium-speed tracks like sort of Miami, Italy. They work quick there. And then high-speed tracks. Now, if you can be quick on all 3 tracks, you've got a very well-balanced car. And you have to be to have any chance of winning the championship. This was the same for even me back in my karting days even Formula Ford, Formula 2000. And it's the exact same for Formula 1. And, you know, we always had to be very, very cautious, conscious of getting that balance in the car. And if you win a race, well, hey guys, let's calm down. We need to just make sure when we get to this type of track, well, we're going to be good. So this is the last piece of the puzzle. I think they're looking good. And if they are quick around here, it's game on. If they struggle around here, they're going to struggle at places like Spa, high-speed tracks, and here. And they can't afford to lose one goddamn race now, guys. They can't, because they're so far away behind the championship. Now, you can have things like where Verstappen being a dumbass, and he was so invested in trying to knock Norris off last week that he gave himself a puncture and screwed his own race. He took himself out of the race. And then they had a DNF in Australia this year, and which is hugely surprising, but still, it happened. So these things can happen. You never know. That's my point. And the third piece of the puzzle, Oscar Piastri. I think Oscar Piastri is going to be the little dark horse here for McLaren. In other words, and I'm not saying they're going to do this, but I wouldn't be surprised if Oscar Piastri all of a sudden, his car gets very, very wide and he has a couple of collisions with Max Verstappen. That's all I'm going to say. That's all I'm going to say. So, let's look at the track, guys. Silverstone, epic track. I raced here years ago, so I know what that feeling is like through these high-speed corners. Now, the track has changed a hell of a lot since I've been there. But if you can look at, guys, this is the most important corner here. Now, we're going to go some onboard now in a second. And you can see now, Maggots and Beckett's. These are the most important corners on the track. 10, 11, 12, 13. This is the most important part of this track. Number 1, why? Because it's a high-speed track. Number 2, this is a high-speed section of the track. And number 3, this will really test the grip and the balance of the car through these S-bends, because this is all about direction change, transition. They're going into 10 quick. They're going into 11 quick, 12, 13. Now, you've got to have a car that will literally point left and instantly go right for you. You can't have any, any lagging, let's say. Okay? If you want to turn right, there's no understeer. It's pointy, snappy. Okay? You have to have a car that is instantly, has an instant response when you want to go left to right to left to right. Now, if they struggle going through 11 and 12 with a bit of understeer, and guys, understeer is basically if they turn in and the car feels like, and it is, it's going straight on. In other words, it doesn't go properly right for you. Now, if they've any bit of understeer going through here, chances are they're not going to get to the apex for the next bend and then load the car up. And again, because they're at such high speed that it's crucial to get out of here. And if you go into 11, keep the speed up, carry the momentum, get through out of 14. You carry so much speed into these S-bends, then down this next long straight, and then into 15, which is a quick down a couple of gears, bang. And a lot of time can be made here down this S-bends and down that back straight. So 11, 12, 13, I would be treating these as one corner. That's exactly how you would treat this. I know there are 3 to 4 different bends, but as the racing driver mindset, you're treating them as one. This is, honestly guys, this is crucial. And even for the qualifying, it's going to be unbelievably important to get through these S-bends. But not only that, that's only one lap. For the race itself, it's going to be vital that the car holds on through here, because if the tires overheat, if the car produces understeer going through here for the drivers as the race goes on, they're going to struggle. So it's very important to make sure that the car gets through this section. Okay, guys, so that is the track. This is the British Grand Prix. Let's go to predictions. Well. I would say now... Christ, this is a tough one. I mean, I've got to say, every time I make predictions, I've got an idea in my head. After Austria, maybe I'm just so frazzled from watching Austria and what's going on, I can't make out. You've got to put your money on Verstappen to win this race. I think you do. I want Lando Norris and McLaren to win. I think they're going to be competitive. But maybe, I mean, we got to remember last year too, guys, when they got to Silverstone, they were nowhere in the championship. They were nowhere. They were at the back of the grid. And then they arrive up at Silverstone 23 and bang, they're on the pace. So maybe that car has the last little bit of juice that they need at high-speed tracks. Now, I've been saying, well, hey, look, Christ, maybe they'll struggle. They need to make sure they're good at high speed. Maybe they're going to be lightning fast. You never know. It could go the other way. So anyway, I'm going to go Verstappen, Norris, second position, and Leclerc in third for qualifying. And I'm going to go Lando Norris for the win. Maybe that's me getting caught up in the moment and I want him to win. But no, I'm trying to be self-aware on this one. I'm going to go Norris for the win. Verstappen second and Leclerc third. Anyway, guys, I'd say it's going to be one hell of a cliffhanger bloody Grand Prix. Strap yourselves in, guys, because I'd say this is going to be awesome. We'll be back Monday morning, guys, with the highlights. Cheers.
Walsh running the Irish crane, and look at the move he's making down to the inside.
Moves to the front from fifth all the way to the lead in lap 1.
Walsh takes win number 2.
Peter. Walsh.